Hello. Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein and the Road to 100, and today we are going to be facing off against the Provisional Government Outskirts, and there's a strange oddity here. I think it's just a typo thing, but the Raven Fatigues that you pick up in the dried up trenches, as you'll notice here, they have a required stat of Strength D and a willpower of C+. However, over on the Code Vein Builder website, you'll notice that there is a red slash going right through the Raven Fatigues, saying that this cannot be used on Warrior because we need a willpower of B+. I think it's just a typo on the creator's side, that this just needs to be a C+, and then it will work just fine. So if you're following along with the build from the description, don't be deterred by the idea that there is a red slash through the blood veil there. That is simply just a typo. As you can see here on our build in the game, it absolutely works and you can use it. So with that being said, we are going to be bringing Eva along, just because of the fact that she makes our gifts that much faster, and Warrior is an awful blood veil for stamina, as it is the worst in the game. As you can see here, we are at 211. So how can we make up for our lack of stamina with one of the heaviest, giantest, most baddest swords in the entire game? Well, as you can see here, if we go through our swinging strikes and a couple of extra hits, we get like 6 hits or so. End game, final build, and blood code pumped up and all of this and that and everything, and so we are not going to be having a good time with this weapon if we go for just regular ways of using it. So if we use like the running attack into a gift, into a blast bolt, we can kind of combo our way through these different attacks. And because we will have 1, 2, 3, and potentially 4 gift accelerators from Eva here, and this gift accelerator, we are able to really combo well into a lot of different build sets here with how to maximize our crappy stamina bar. Now here we have a 6-second cooldown, and here we have a 5-second cooldown, so we do have fairly comparable cooldowns. The only problem that we have here is that we need to be doing blood sacrifice like all the time, unless we get enough backstabs to get us up to the 30 mark, which that is not a strategy. It is just a happenstance nicety that will follow us along, and we will be getting lots of health back from enemies, either killing enemies or backstabbing or parrying or whatever we're going to do with our blood veil. And so this is a great way to play Warrior, to speed things up, and you'll notice that most of the time we won't have really any ichor at all along the way, so we will make just good use of our blood veil here to make sure that we are getting as much ichor as we can along the way here. Okay. And here's this guy. Okay, don't miss. Thanks, Eva. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and heal just once to make sure that we have enough ichor to get to the next guy. And as we move along here, we will go for a couple backstabs to get our ichor high, while at the same time getting more health along the way. And we want to get backstabs, and we want to kill all along the way here. Come on, there we go. And so now we have really good ichor recovery, as well as parries and everything, and we are going to be a real force here to reckon with. As you can see, we are able to kind of, oh come on, we are able to get in and out of combat here pretty easily and pretty quickly, all things considered. So here, this is a great position for us to be in, that we can use Blast Bolt at a distance here to kind of kill enemies, and we get 5% health back, which means that we can use one of these and get 5% health back. So let's attract this fine specimen over here. And she's going to do that, which is fine. And then we'll go for a backstab to get more ichor, because that is our super weakness here. And then we can go into a couple of gifts there. And you can see that it does combo absolutely nicely. So we are able to really make ourselves into a kind of interesting combo a combo attacker here, which is kind of strange, because Code Vein typically is not about combos. It's about you know, all kinds of other things that you go about engaging in. And because she's so skinny, we can't get that backstab, unfortunately. But we have just enough to go for, you know, a little bit of damage. Okay, we're dead. Okay, and where is El Doggo? Okay, so you can see that we still have, you know, a little bit of some problems here, just because of the fact of what we are doing with the dogs and everything, and we don't really have a whole lot of ability to kind of put things down quickly, but we can block as well. Okay. And that will give us 5% health, which is great. Okay, so then here. Whoops. And we can block now because of, because of our sword being so good that we use one guard booster, and we are able to bring those defenses all the way up to 100, which is great. Okay, so you can see that we're able to, we do have damage and everything along the way here. The problem just comes from the fact that, you know, there's so many enemies here along the way. Okay, and we can kill, you know, kind of when we need to and everything, and that's not really a problem for us. The problem for us comes from the fact that we can't really we can't really make a mistake at any point in time, because we are so very fragile, like really fragile, brittle. As soon as we get hit once, as you can see there, we are just constantly behind the curve here of getting attacked. And so thank you, Eva, for your sacrifice, but that's going to be a real struggle for us here. So we'll take the regen extension factor, we'll go ahead and heal again. And even though we have all of the health recovery and everything here from cleansing light, from you know, all of the gifts that we've been using and stuff, we are still on that struggle bus. Okay, so here we can go ahead and encourage these guys to do something. And Blast Bolt is never disappointing. Ever. It is not a disappointing gift by any means. It is always a treat to go ahead and use. So let's go ahead and run past her, because we need to get the ladder kicked. And we will bring Eva back, and we will get that going. Now, the beautiful thing about using the Zweihander is the fact that it is a giant sword, and so it does have very good defenses. However, if we use a guard booster here, that we have that we can carry along that is not affected by literally anything in the game. And we are able to use that to our advantage to always have 100% block outside of the normal rules and regulations of how you go about engaging different enemies. So very, very good there. And so you can see here that we do have kind of a problem with iCore and everything. So that is okay. If we can maybe get a backstab here. It doesn't look like we can, so we'll just do that into a gift. So the gifts are very, very helpful, very, very handy, that we can go for these kinds of things here along the way. And let's get Cleansing Light going so we can, you know, kill enemies and keep getting health back. So very, very important to kind of preserve your stamina for those very few times that you will make sure that you need to engage an enemy. And this lady is absolutely priority 1 here. Oh. Okay. Okay. They're stacked up on each other, so that's gonna be a very nice, sweet 10% of our health back, which is great. And we can go ahead and heal one and get a little bit of iCore here before we get into this fight. And hopefully Eva doesn't run off and do something strange. Okay, very good. As you can see, we do have very, very fast gift casting if we so need it. So let's go for this, and let's go for a guard booster, because this fine specimen here is very, very excited about doing attacks, but she also is very excitable about doing attacks that we cannot block. So we absolutely need to worry about her. But because we have insane speed on our gifts, we are we are able to really, really put the screws to her. And you can see that we're just kind of able to, if we can keep the iCore going here, we are able to kind of mow down these enemies pretty quickly here, all things considered. Okay, yeah, you do that. And getting a backstab is like extra juicy spicy for us with this setup here. And because of having the double slash from Tormenting Blast paired right into a very fast lightning attack, we are able to kind of dispatch of those enemies very, very quickly. So now for the Queen's Knight Reborn fight, these two gifts don't do anything for us anymore. So here we can go for either more damage or more stamina, but remember we want more iCore recovery. So in that regard, we can go for either Tirelessness to bring back our stamina so we can do more attacks, so we can get more iCore, or we can go for something like iCore Focus or Drain Boost or something of that sort, or we can go for Guard Drain Rating Up. Those are some good options here to bring along, but in this case it's probably best just to go for a little bit more damage overall, because that'll be 10% for both our gift and our weapon. So it's better to go for Swift Destruction in this case to get a little bit more damage across the board instead of singular focused damage in one direction. Now it is very important that we keep our guard boosters up at all times during this fight, just because of the fact that we are going to be blocking at certain points. Now we are supposed to be going fast, and you will notice that it'll feel like we're going kind of slow, but you'll have to remember the fact that we are using what is this, Warrior, and playing Warrior is absolutely a strange kind of a bird. So keep that in mind as you are going about playing this blood code. It is very different than other blood codes because of its weak stamina presence. We have to play differently and think differently. Okay. Okay. Oops. I didn't realize he was going for me. Okay. Well, that was a little bit of an oopsie there. So let's head back, and you can see that if we are able to get his health going, we are able to really chunk through it very, very quickly in between each of his openings. So that is really, really nice that we're able to capitalize very hard into each one of his openings, and we don't really have any serious problems unless we get hit. As you saw, we got hit once and it was over. So we'll just head in here for some of this, so we can go for some just action right away. Okay. And see, it just takes a little longer to power up on the gifts and everything. Oops. Okay, and because we are normal mobility, we are able to get out of the way of that attack that he has. Okay, and you can see that our stamina is absolute garbage in this fight because we're spending a lot of time blocking or running or doing something else. Whoops, that's really unfortunate that we missed there. Okay, and you'll notice now that standing here getting leaked is really bad. So we definitely want to use another guard booster. And now we have block again. And okay, that I don't necessarily agree with that, but whatever. Okay. Now, if you bring Io into this fight, the awesome thing is that she gets rid of the leak immediately. So it's very, very, very good to run this fight with Io present. With anybody else, it's kind of like, well. And you can see that having Blast Bolt is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. So you can see that when we do have the iCore and everything, and we have the openings and we have the timings, the actual event of fighting him is actually very fast. But most of the time, because you're running out of iCore so fast, when he's leaking you, you resort to the guard boosters and just blocking everything towards the end, which is fine because you're still building up a little bit of iCore as it's leaking away. And even though we got one unlucky hit when he did the center stage ground slam, bringing a partner along just mitigates that stupidity for you. There's no real other reason to bring the partner, because everything else is manageable. Now, typically when you run the Zweihander, you are always going to be slow mobility, but the nice thing is that we're able to be normal mobility because of the Raven fatigues here being just under the weight class limit that we need to be in normal mobility space. So this is very, very, very helpful for us. And because it does have a B plus willpower scaling, it is actually pretty good. So if you compare this to like a different dark blood veil, something like the fortified Venus Claw, even though it's like way heavier, it has roughly about, you know, the same dark value pretty much. And if you don't have the Venus Claw, the Raven Fatigues are a pretty good option. And obviously you're not using the Raven Fatigues for a whole lot of damage, but as you'll notice here, it does have a much higher drain rating. Much higher drain rating than the Venus Claw as well. And here at 0.57, it's pretty bad. You only get about 4 or 5 ichor on a drain, whereas with the Raven Fatigues, you get about let's see, 7.5 or so. So it's considerably more when all things considered. And even though this has more balance as the Claw Veil, that's okay, because you don't really have defenses anyways on either one of them. As you can see, you know, they're about equal on all defenses and everything. So the nice thing is that you just get more ichor recovery with the Raven Fatigues, and it is a Stinger Veil, so it is much more satisfying of an animation when you do a parry or a drain attack or anything. But this is a real fun way to play a fast warrior. And the trouble with warrior again is just its crappy amount of stamina. It is not a stamina heavy build, but the cool thing is that it's strength and willpower, and that is a really hard combination to come by in letters of B or higher on both of them. And since we have an A+, which is really good, it pairs very well with the Zweihander, which is a strength scaling sword anyways. And we're getting ourselves 20% more from lightning damage, and even though our strength scaling goes down. So you can see that even though this has 300 more damage and it goes up to a strength scaling of B, this is 20% more, which is another 250. So it's right within the range of, you know, 316 or 250 more than this. So it's only about 50-60 damage more, and we have guard boosters, so we're able to match the defensive value of the Zweihander fortification. And because we are bringing lightning, we always have that 20% to mark enemies with weakness, which means that we get an extra 10% for free, which means that we get another 150. So we're doing about let's see, 20% of this is about 300, and so, or yeah, 20% of about 300, so we're about even with the fortified, and then we get an extra 10% for free because we're using lightning on most enemies through the area here, and so we get about another 150, so we're doing about 450 more than what says here on the card when you do the multiplication out, which is almost 2,000 as compared to the 1810 of the fortified. So the lightning in the provisional government outskirts here is far superior in every single way, and I would highly recommend using this version of it as opposed to the fortified. Plus, also, if we use the fortified, we go down to slow mobility because we are over 100 weight with just the sword itself. So having the normal mobility, having the 20% proc for a potential of 30% on our lightning damage, as well as having the guard boosters along to bring us up to 100%. There's no reason to use the fortified over this one. So anyways, sorry, long-winded explanations here of everything, but this is a real fun, fast way to play warrior and engage and enjoy what the blood code can do potentially versus some very, very difficult end game content. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye.